Welcome to another Duos and Dark Halls match. Today we have Snuffaluffagus of Team Cagliari Special versus Skybreaker96 of Team Dark Horse. Snuffaluffagus is playing Hunters for this match. I ought to have said that while introducing his name and such, but whoopsies. This would due to some technicalities of what all's going on in their lives. This will likely be, unless this ends up being a blitz game, this will likely have to be split up into two different separate games, or two separate streams, more accurately. Sorry, to do so as to not have a massive pause somewhere in the middle. The exact details on why this is are I had probably not best not say, even though I know. But nonetheless, I hope you all enjoy the stream, and anyone who watches this after the fact has a good experience. Hence why I am splitting it into two streams, especially for the YouTube, for whoever watches it on YouTube rather than on the live stream. I don't want a massive gap in the middle of the stream. So in any event, as things currently stand, Team Cagliari Special, gracious, that is something of a tongue twister at times. It is at 1-1. They have not yet played any games for the second round. Speaking of which, tomorrow Snuffaluffagus' partner Andrzat will be attempting to evade attempting to evade Skybreaker's partner Adam, Adam being his Discord name. His Hero Dracula game name is something that I just don't know how to pronounce, so my apologies for that fact. Well, there's more than that. There's more than just that happening tomorrow. So stay alert, folks. There's a lot of action on the way. Yeah, so going into the usual week 1 rigmarole. So far, really nothing much has happened. I'm discarding all holy bullets, but that's hardly a surprise. Dark Call after laying down 1 encounter. Okay. And not doing a misdirect. I can't say I like that. Oh. Interesting. Okay, that changes things. Although, mind you, he didn't know that before he committed not to doing a misdirect, because once you choose what your move is, be it moving to a new city or whatever you do, the fact that it's hidden schemes which allows Adam to put something quite possibly a hoax right there, makes it so that definitely puts additional pressure onto the hunters. After all, he did have 10 different cards that he could. But that's why you. An England start. Okay, so he's currently at Manchester. Intriguing. Typically the England start is you begin at Manchester and then go up to Edinburgh so you can hide there before misdirecting Manchester and coming back. But apparently, Skybreaker has chosen to do it a bit differently. This England starts are rare, so this could definitely prove to be a very interesting match. That's so well. Well, that's the first. The fact that that's the reason why misdirecting your starting location is rather meta. Admittedly, with the hidden schemes, it kind of doesn't matter. It's more or less the same thing as if he had misdirected it and simply had waited one more day before doing it, before doing the Dark Hall. But he still has misdirect if he wishes to misdirect someplace. So in the end, it paid out in terms of well. But you definitely can't. Even though hidden schemes, I think there are 3 copies of it. Therefore, one of the Dracula events that you're most likely to get. You shouldn't count on that. I mean, obviously, something like Emmanuel Hill's team would have been ridiculous. Unearthly Swiftness would have been very worth having. There are quite a few cards that would have been even better. So, even a false tip, since we're talking about England. The railways are just as efficient, if not, in one case, in a couple cases, better than horses. So, okay, well, we kind of knew that. Well, no, we didn't. That tells him, Snuff, that he didn't hide at Manchester. So, we now know that he is at Liverpool. I feel bad for Skybreaker here because here's the interesting thing. Not too long ago, Snuff and I played a game just for funsies, and I actually did do an England start. So Snuff knows the hazards that await him if he does this wrong. So there are. Yeah. So long as Snuff remembers what he did in the game, in the just for funsies game that he and I had, he will be well suited to dealing with this. Mind you, he might draw poorly in event items, which Mina evidently has to a certain degree. I suppose she's only had the chance to draw 3 cards, so no chance to discard yet. Yeah, railing up to Bordeaux. I will say that the fact that she is also showing Lucky Find, so therefore she can replace that any moment the moment that there's. And here's the funny thing about this: she can use it. She can play the Garlic Wreath before you doing the Lucky Find, so she won't actually have to discard anything apart from the things that she rejects from the Lucky Find. So she can have the Garlic. So the fact that she has Lucky Find makes Garlic Wreath actually somewhat good. So the question is, how long will Dracula stay on England? So I would likely... I'm not sure whether I would hide now, when you're guaranteed to be able to put down an encounter, or whether I would wait until you go to Swansea first. I think more likely I would hide first. It depends on what sort of encounter you put down. In truth, it really just comes down to that. Yeah, the hunters haven't had much time to prepare, so... And that's the thing with England starts. It's so close by, and yet, with Van Helsing being, at least since being one of the two more fragile hunters, it is definitely a little bit scary to go about the business here in England. One thing that might be a little bit sneaky that Dracula could have done is he actually may have... I might actually have considered laying down a fog here in Edinburgh, making, like... Oh, whoa, okay. Wolves, rats, bats... Okay, so dull rats, bats, wolves, a soil, a new vamp, and one other card that I didn't quite catch. Discarding the bats, okay. I can definitely understand. Bats up in England can definitely be very obnoxious, and what's more, they can easily steer hunters into night fights with vampires, night fights with Dracula himself, and so on. So I definitely understand not wanting him to have bats while we're talking about England. Okay, staking. And it was a hoax. Okay. Definitely understandable, but unfortunately it didn't pay off. The fact that it accounted for a stake, that means that that Van Helsing does not have that particular stake for any vampire for the next vampire you put up here. So it's not the worst thing. So that move there, on the assumption that he is not hiding, means that he has just moved into London. But so we know that one is Liverpool, because remember we had an evil presence that showed us that this when he was here, and it was not Manchester. So that means that he went to... This one is Liverpool. We know that. The question is, has he hidden now at Swansea? Or did he hide at Liverpool, then go to Swansea? That's what we do. Or is there simply no hide card and he's at London? We just don't know. Yet. Yeah, I definitely approve of when Van Helsing moved, because that gave him one extra day, like for in the event it was a saboteur, or a bat. It was a saboteur or possibly a bats. He would. That means that he would have if he had moved on it now and gotten delayed by a saboteur by night, he would be letting Manchester mature. So good on Snuff to move when he did. The other option when it comes to an England start, it is to simply leave Van Helsing there, make it so that he cannot pass through London without provoking a fight at dawn, and therefore confine him to a smaller and make it harder to do it if he doesn't want to fight. If he wants to fight, I mean, okay, so be it. But this way, admittedly, he does get to. So what I would do here with as the hunters, yeah, I have no real opinion as to preference as to who wins. Although, I suppose since, as I recall, Dark Horse did lose both their matches last week, I suppose I shall have to hope that they at least get one win to put themselves on the board, so to speak. So, I suppose if I'm rooting for anyone, I kind of have to root for Skybreaker for that reason. Because Skybreaker will lost to Wakajic, while Adam lost to Terminus, unfortunately. Okay, so that will now be either a hide at London. So he's either at Plymouth, or he is hidden somewhere along the way. The latter of those being far more likely. So what I would do here is I would move Seward to the English Channel, and Mina to Irish Sea, so that they can converge on England on the very same day. Snuff does have to be careful not to overcommit into England. Yeah, so it's a delicate balance. One, the hunters have to not overcommit, and two, Dracula has to choose the right moment to leave. Okay. Looks as if Snuff's thoughts are going along the same lines as mine. So now, Van Helsing goes and at least attempts to address Manchester. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is another hoax, since that hoax up at Edinburgh was placed after this. So this was his originally intended to be first encounter, and since there was no rumor token up until the Liverpool, that seems to hint that it's the second hoax card. Either that or something like, say, a bodyguard's, possibly a desecrated soil. I suppose I could see that. I will see shortly. Bodyguards. Okay. Oh, ouch. Okay. That hurts. You shouldn't go about without at least one conventional weapon. And that is only one of the cards that will punish you, encounter cards that will punish you for not having a weapon. I mean, for those who don't know already, there's also Wolves that has a very similar effect to bodyguards, and Spy, which would make Van Helsing have to show Dracula his hand of all the items and events he has, and lose all of his railway tickets, which can definitely mess up horse economy. Which I'm guessing that Van Helsing is holding a horse if he is. I mean, then again, I suppose Van Helsing's hand, since he's had to move around about a bit, will be a little less refined. Shall we say a little less refined? Okay, wolf forming onto Van Helsing while he's exposed and weakened. Okay, since that was a wolf form, that seems to say that he was at Plymouth. Mind you, if the hunters have CG, this could be like game over tomorrow. Because they can just put the CG token up at Edinburgh, just block him from going north, move Seward into London, move Mina into Liverpool, and have Van Helsing probably go with Seward. Yeah, some of you may be wondering, why is there an encounter card here? The reason is that it was made into a lair before he came back here, so that meant that he got to place an encounter card as if it were a normal move, that isn't right onto a hunter. Yeah, provoking a fight in England is dangerous business for Dracula, as you will, in order to get out of England safely, you will always take some damage. So you have to account for that and think of yourself as having less health than you really do. I mean, Dracula, in truth, has only like 10 health to work with here. So now let's really think about this dawn action. Makes me want, if he has a renewed vigor, and both Mina and Seward have a horse, yeah. If both Mina and Seward have a horse, they can so they could pounce on Dracula for a 2v1, and even a 2v1 would possibly leave Van Helsing there to make it a 3v1. That'll be dangerous for Dracula. He will likely take a good hunk of damage from that. If you have a way to get both Mina and Seward there, I'd go for it. Because even if as a result you get a little beat up, so you can't deal with the rumor token, Dracula will almost always take a large amount of damage as well. And yes, he may get 7 points, but then he's going to be quite likely hobbling as he... Okay, playing Long Night? That's... Okay, I get it. Yes, he's delayed by day, so he wants to be able to move away by night, maybe? Oh, RV. There it is. Okay. Does Van Helsing have an escape route? Or possibly a heroic leap? Answer, no. So, unfortunately, this is, of course, a day fight. So, let's see, yep, they're still layering up in Edinburgh. So I would just leave Van Helsing here. If you're gonna have Mina and... Okay. Gracious. Van Helsing could have escaped without a scratch. But the question is Snuff planning to have Van Helsing just do his bit now? Do as much damage as he can. Okay, claws, and... okay, escape. Yeah. A bit of a pity for the hunters that he could have had Van Helsing escape without a scratch. At least a scratch from the combat. But now, when it comes time for the dusk fights, Van Helsing will almost certainly die. There's a slim hope, like if he gets targeted by fangs or strength and gets hit, then he can... then there might be a great strength. or something. Okay, so I would, if I were Snuff, I might actually have Goldoming start moving a bit closer to the coastline. Be ready to cut off Dracula's escape in case things go poorly. Oh, well, then again, this is a renewed vigor. He can supply and move. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the discard pile. Let's see what information we can glean. Okay, no holy bullets. No holy circles. There's one pistol left, 3 rifles left. Okay. So, rats? Okay. I'm pretty sure Snuff is fine with that. I'm not sure I would have bothered revealing it in that particular case. I mean, it depends on whether or not you're going to be clearing the trail that you're going to be attacking or not. I mean, which apparently, by appearance, that's not going to be the case. Oh, he discarded his rifle for a new weapon. But that means that... I mean... Dracula is still stuck in England for at least one more turn. And if they have a... Okay, so now he can play Garlic Wreath and Lucky Find to make it that if the Empire fangs to get a point, it dies. So Dracula's in a very tricky situation here. Yeah, Garlic Wreath and then Lucky Find to get a new item, I'm guessing. I mean, that's what I would do. Okay, showing dogs now. Yeah, especially if you have dogs. I would definitely do Lucky Find to... Alright. This seems to say to me that it's possible that she intends to dump a heavenly host on the Reckless Vampire. But Mia doesn't seem to be that well armed. I mean, she has Lucky Find to get at something, but... Oh, alright, bye-bye. That seems to say that she's holding either a heavenly host or a stake as her third card. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, so Van Helsing did have the escape route, but he very wise stuff. For a moment, I thought that she was simply... Oh, but Van Helsing does not get undelayed. Yeah, so... He is kind of, in a certain sense, tempting Drac to stay here and feed instead of going to his lair at Edinburgh. But killing Van Helsing will only give you 3 points. And especially if Mina ends up staking this vampire, then what have you got left here to really prevent them from just teaming up on you? They will know exactly where you are. I'm sure you can try to lay down a fog at Edinburgh, but if you have one. Yeah, but Drac is definitely in a tricky spot now. He's not on a port. He's on the one space that isn't a port in all of England. If the hunters if Mina has CG, this could be just game over here now, because yep, there it is. So now he simply places one He simply places one in the main one in Manchester, then makes it such. Well, there's no Drac event to contend with, so it really doesn't matter in this particular case. Could be. Could be. Could be. I suppose I shouldn't have said that, as I'm supposed to be the spectator, but is a CG nuke? Okay, not quite, but he's been... Now Dracula is forced to misdirect Liverpool, and he is forced to misdirect Liverpool and go there. So he'll have a dawn fight with Mina, which, that will give Mina her chance to use Lucky Find. But then, Van Helsing, it's debatable whether or not Van Helsing should step on to make it a 3v1, but yeah, Lucky Find makes sense. So she'll always be discarding those dogs, as that's not a combat item. Discarding a stake? That's intriguing. Okay. I would have likely discarded the dogs and then revealed a weapon to him, because, go ahead and reveal a knife. Mina always has a knife. So why would Skybreaker not simply assume that she will have a knife anyway? Strength. Escape. Okay, but Snuff definitely needs to seize this opportunity. Admittedly, Van Helsing may not be able to contribute much, but if he goes there, it can lend that little bit of extra push to the attack. And since there's no encounter, a rifle and a stake. So there's only one rifle left. And, okay, yeah, he goes there. Now the question is, will he send Van Helsing there? He's on the brink of death, so I don't blame if he doesn't. But there is something to be said for doing it. Oh. Lol. Yeah, this is very, very bad for Dracula. If he survives this combat, he has to go to sea immediately. But unfortunately, he is going to have to... he's going to have the hunters hot on his heels. So let's see. Is there any plan? Okay, no combat events. That's one point. That's one small tick for Dracula. Without planned ambushes, it'll be hard to get Hemley. It'll be scary to try to get Hemley hosts in. So, how to begin? The last thing you want to happen is for Dracula to escape as a bat, because then he could bat to Edinburgh and then go via the North Sea to Germany, and he would have a head start. Godalming is in that general vicinity, yes, but okay, a pistol. We know that there's no holy bullets, so unfortunately that's just gonna be moot damage. Okay, Mina did rifle. Okay, so she's got the last rifle. Good. So that's a bit of damage done already. So now I'm going to assume I would do double knife next. If both of them have a knife, I would do double knife next. Yeah, because if he has the same things, he'll always use it. And now, unfortunately for Mina, she is in here on her own. I know this likely means that Mina is dumping one of those as well. Oh, okay, apparently it was a knife. So this is definitely painful for Drac. So, But the thing is, again, if Drac escapes as a bat, it's gonna prove a little bit difficult for the hunters. So, I'm going to guess that Mia's going to rifle. Yeah. Prevent the escape as bat. Let me see. What is Mina still has a stake revealed. So therefore Drac knows that all she has left now is a knife. I mean, knife is definitely one of the best weapon cards. And Dracula still has one more strength, potentially. Okay. So Snuff is trying to make it simply too costly. Mind you, he may make it too costly for himself if he doesn't pull out too soon enough. 6 damage, 6 HP left. So, if I am playing Dracula, I would likely, if I have it, do the second clause. Force her to dodge to stay alive. Yeah, escape his bat. Actually, that makes slightly more sense. While her weapon's down, he can escape his bat, go up to Edinburgh, and just get out of England. So, rough combat both ways. So, something over rough combat both ways. Sewer got bitten, so he's got surprising return. Okay. Haven't been any allies yet that I recall. No, not yet. So Dracula will get to escape his bat onto Edinburgh and then go into the North Sea. He'll go down to 4 HP though. And that's the thing that will be very rough about this for him. In fact, had there been Aggie there, the fangs would not have healed him for 2, and therefore the pistol would have actually dealt damage. Or rather, you get what I mean. And then the escape would have cost him another 2, so he would actually be unable to go to sea. He would be forced to feed here. If he would be forced to feed to stay alive. to be able to go to sea. But now it's Gul'damin's turn. Now Gul'damin can can get into position to attempt to intercept him. It's quite possible that that he may try to go a little bit further by sea, like North Atlantic. But do so. I would. Oh, Rufus. Well timed. That means that Dracula will only be able to move one more spot by sea. Very well timed. Gracious. That is definitely a welcome surprise for Snuff. For Skybreaker, on the other hand, then again, do you go any further than North Atlantic? I probably wouldn't. Really no need to. Then you wolf form, and you can start using this maze to try to throw them off. Then again, you can just normal land if you want. CG has now been used. So if you so desire, so there's a Wolves on Manchester, and Edinburgh. What's there would have been revealed by there's another mob. So really, you can just let that stuff mature. Plymouth, you once you check up on Plymouth, you can just leave Manchester and Edinburgh alone. Those are the things that will only hurt you when they mature if you're nearby. So there's really no need to deal with them. I'm a little bit confused why Gul'damin still hasn't moved. Is it that all the horses would have been drawn up here in England? That would be unfortunate and definitely rather awkward for Snuff, but so Skybreaker can move one more time by sea, but that will put him down to 2. It'll make it so he can barely wolf form. Normal landing. So he's now either at Hamburg or Amsterdam. So now it's Gul'damin's turn. Since Gul'damin could simply rail up to Hamburg, it is almost certainly Amsterdam, but you never know. Dracula's can do tricky stuff. So, just thinking about doing a second renewed vigor, because let me see. 1, 2, 3 from a sense of emergency, and then he jumps on him in Amsterdam, by playing a second renewed vigor. And what's more, if he has heroic leap, that's it. That's game. Definitely a very violent opening to the game with all that happened up in England. But in truth, that's simply how England tends to go. So, Gul'damin, how about some horse action, eh? Yeah, he's not going to bother checking Hamburg yet, because simply by logic, Amsterdam is the better play. But then again, knowing that Goldaman can go to Hamburg and confirm, why not just go there? Why not go there assuming that he will and take the risk that he will bypass you? Because now he can go down this corridor of what these two spots. These Berlin and Prague would normally be CG nuke spots, but with CG gone, that's. I mean, okay. Okay, horses. Slow horse. Okay. Seward. Okay, and Mina also has a horse. Gladaming has not, at the very least, has not used a horse yet. But I see nothing particularly wrong about going to Cologne. That, in theory, since Wolfform's on the trail, yeah, he couldn't Wolfform land. I'm not sure how much I like that. I might have just gone IRC North Atlantic. What? Chose not to ambush? Why not? In that case, Sky, you'd best. Since Sky, you may not have noticed this, but since a Heavenly Host token was there, the hunters. It is public knowledge what encounter is there. So Mina. So if Snuff is paying attention to that, he knows full well what awaits Mina there. So. And therefore is unlikely to touch it, because again, both wolves and mob only do anything when there is a hunter in the vicinity. Okay, yeah, Seward recuperating more. Yeah, so there's still a couple days where Dracula's just hobbling about, and if Gladaming finds him, and let's keep in mind that Dracula does still have the hide card to play around with. In fact, honestly, I would expect that that's what he's done. Because regardless, unless he went to Hamburg. If he went to Hamburg, then I would guess that he's in Berlin now, heading towards the east, that he can eventually end up at Castle Dracula healing up. So I would have Gladaming check Amsterdam. Just get it, you might say, like, over and done with, you might say. Because it would actually make sense to land on the port, lay down fog, because we haven't seen any fog yet, and it would just make sense for him to lay down fog. Oh? What's... Wonder what that was. Okay, yeah, Seward going to check out what's at Plymouth. So now Mina is coming from the opposite direction. I. So, rats? Okay. He's showing a pistol through his bitten item, so of course. Go ahead and take him out. Mystic Research. 2 Dracula events. Okay, what were they? Devilish Power and Darkness returns. My, if Dracula can somehow get a hoax through, which would be, like, nigh miraculous for a while, there's more than half, there's 13 Drac events in there, with as soon as they discard, a 14th, number 14 will join them. Yes. Snuff using an old trick that at least in my case, I was originally taught by Mr. Green, my teammate. Keep track of how many Mystic Research supplies left by typing it into the game chat. Okay, he's fed. So I'm pretty sure that he is hidden at Amsterdam. Presumably on a fog. So that he can try to regain his strength, and also to procrastinate long enough to where he'll have wolf form back. So Snuff has some sort of dawn effect that he considered playing. Possibly the second renewed vigor. Oh, he did not hide. So therefore he is now at Brussels. They know exactly where he is. So Seward should now go to sea. But here's one hazard. Dracula could now step into Le Havre and catch him out 1v1. Okay, and even though it's Seward, he is damaged from all the ruckus up there. Yeah, now that they're all out of England, those wolves, they can't touch him. The mob, they can't touch them. I mean, he can make lairs out of them, and that could be a bit nasty if he manages to return there. Though with the CG token in London, that's highly unlikely that he would attempt to do so. Alright. Okay, so after Dracula makes his move here, Sky has a small errand he needs to run for 15-20 minutes, so Oh, he matured it? Whoopsies. Uh, so as soon as Dracula makes his move here, I shall be ending the stream, and I shall create a part 2 for the remainder, for live streaming the remainder of the game once they are ready to continue. So there will be a new live stream for any who wish to watch once he has made his move. Alright. And with that, everyone, thank you for watching this first part. Stay tuned. As you saw, Sky said 15 to 20 minutes. See,